everyone. Today, our honorable guest is Dr. Michael Broody. Welcome to our YouTube newsletter channel. And we are going to ask to Doctor some interesting questions about his experience in Uzbekistan and other Central Asian countries. Well, first question is, can you share with us about your background history, like study experience at Texas, work experience there, and conditions?
Yes. So I have been working in the fields of environmental science, ecology, biology, study of pollution and nature since I was a bachelor's student. And I received my PhD at the University of Texas, I believe in 1980. And I was studying small organisms that lived in both the coastal zone and in some of the forests in Texas. Those were the beginning of what was becoming studies of biological diversity. Later on, I moved to work in the state of Louisiana with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, where I was studying wetland forests. I was studying just a little bit about sea level rise and sort of the future of forests in the southern Louisiana, and a specific type of forest we call wetlands, which really don't exist in Uzbekistan. And then I was also doing some work in fisheries up in Alaska and in the northern seas. From there, I moved on to begin to study various aspects of pollution, and I had a long career at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And there I did work in various aspects of environmental sciences and environmental policy, but I did a lot of work in understanding the effects of pollution on the environment and on human health. And some of these studies then, I began to work in international settings in Eastern Europe, and then Ukraine and Russia, and we were doing projects together in the area we call risk assessment of environmental health. What are the damages? What are the harms from pollution on human health and on ecosystems? And my work in Russia actually led me to be invited to Central Asia for the first time, to Almaty, Kazakhstan, and that was in 2011. And that was really the birth of my career in Central Asia, which has been going on steadily in 3 countries: Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, more than any other, in Kyrgyzstan.
Thanks a lot. Next question is about present time in our university and your feelings. Can you tell about your feelings teaching here, about our students in Uzbekistan?
Okay, I certainly can do that, but I'm going to answer first the question you almost asked but did not quite ask. I usually am asked, do I like Uzbekistan? I get asked this more in Russian than in English. And is it a normal country? But what I always tell people when they ask me, do I like it here? This is now my 7th time in Uzbekistan. My first time was in 2014. I lived here in Tashkent in 2017 for a half a year, teaching at the National University. So I always tell people, if I did not like Uzbekistan, I would not continually return to this country. So anyway, there's one of the most important points about International Agriculture University is that it is a university of the Uzbek government. There are many new private universities in this city, but only the government universities will build the kind of scientific infrastructure to rebuild sciences in this country. And so what I most admire about IAU, which is the reason I'm here at this university and not at a private university, is we will have new buildings, new laboratories. We'll be trying to do science at a Western level. And the government's commitment to improving science in this country is critically important, and I'm happy to be part of that process. Now, IAU, of course, I've taught in Russian at other universities. It's much easier for me to teach in English, so I like that. English is the most important language of science in today's world, and I want our students not to think of English as just another language to socialize in, but a language that is helpful for learning, and especially learning in science. There are only 6 international languages of science. Those are the languages of the United Nations. You have to know at least one of them. English right now is the most important. Now the students here are like the students everywhere. Any professor learns to teach to the best students, the ones who do their homework, the ones who listen to lectures and participate in seminars. There are a number of students here who have a lot of potential. I'm teaching the foundation year, but I see a couple of kids who can go into science. They're already working hard in that direction, and I hope they continue. And as a teacher, that's what I would like to most do to help students here.
All right. And as a last question, I would like to ask you about your future plans regarding to our university, about Uzbekistan.
Okay, so I plan to return next year. My current plans are to teach just 1 semester a year because of my family, which is back in the US. But my other plans for this university are to help develop the partnerships with other universities around the world that are critical to developing real research capacity here. And so that's part of what I'm doing in addition to just teaching. And that I can help do wherever I am. Because we have some young faculty here, the young Uzbek people who are trying to make this advancements for this country. They're the future for research at IAU. It isn't me, and it's not any of the older generation of foreigners. We can help get it started, but the real core of a future successful research program in agriculture here are the young Uzbek faculty, and I want to do whatever I can to help them find opportunities to do the kind of work they need to do. And so I plan to return next year, probably for the same semester, teach a different course, and we'll see. I'm happy to return to Uzbekistan, and I know this is not the most important reason in the world, but you have the best pluff in the world.
Thank you.
And I need to return, because pluff in America is not very good.
And here is the end of our interview with Dr. Michael Broody. Thank you a lot for...
It was my pleasure to be interviewed by you students, and I'm happy to give a student experience in anything, whether it's research, teaching, or interviewing. So,
thank you.
You're welcome.